Welcome to the Tolford Alliance Church update. Congratulations on making it through the craziness of 2021. To those who have persevered, Scripture says, "As you know, we count as blessed those who have persevered." You've heard of Job's perseverance and have seen what the Lord finally brought about. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy, from James 5:11. So consider yourself blessed and lean fully into the compassion and mercy of Jesus for any of the burdens that you may be carrying into 2022. As I prayed for you over the past few weeks, I prayed for a joyful, restful, and safe Christmas season. I prayed for those who traveled over the holidays. I've prayed for health during this wave of rising infections. I've also been praying for your heart as we enter another year with more uncertainty and change. The biggest uncertainty is this current wave of infections. It's spreading so quickly. A number of people I know personally have gotten COVID in the past few weeks. Businesses and organizations have faced staff shortages as people are home while sick. Other provinces are imposing additional restrictions. On Tuesday, I listened to the Alberta News Conference, and here's some of my takeaway points. The biggest recommendation is that we all reduce our risk by being fully vaccinated and by reducing our contact with others during the time of this spike. The level of infection poses a significant risk. Even if most experience milder symptoms, the severe cases among the thousands infected could easily strain the capacity of our hospitals and ICU beds. The Premier underscored their desire to keep children in school during this time. And they're not adding any restrictions on churches beyond those already in place. So that's good news, but we do need to be cautious. And that brings me to Sunday school. Given the current spike of infections, we are delaying the restart of Sunday school for a few weeks. I'm glad that the schools are continuing with in-person education, and current guidelines do not prohibit us from operating Sunday school, yet current guidelines also ask people to reduce their number of contacts. The peak of the spike does not seem to be the right time to start a program that will increase the contacts of both students and volunteers. So our plan now is to restart either at the very end of January or early February. This will allow time for the spike to decline, allow for greater vaccination rate among children, avoid the problem of scrambling if scheduled volunteers have to stay home, and it will also allow us to learn from the protocols of schools and help us implement any additional measures required when we do restart. We share your disappointment with this delay. We dearly want to restart, but feel that a delay of a few more weeks is necessary given the current circumstances. So thank you for your understanding. Parents, we do ask you to register your children. There's a link in the email version of this update to an online form that you can use, or we'll also make a printed or PDF version available that you can fill in and return to us if you'd rather do that in an offline kind of a way. I've called the message for this Sunday, "The Tyranny of Success." We're considering a short passage written by Peter to believers who've been scattered by difficulty and suffering. Now, I chose this passage a number of weeks ago, and when I chose it, it was before the variant was yet on the radar. The passage seems very fitting as we start another year with uncertainty, change, and disruption. It says, "So then, since Christ suffered physical pain, you must arm yourselves with the same attitude he had, and be ready to suffer too. For if you have suffered physically for Christ, you have finished with sin. You won't spend the rest of your lives chasing down your own desires, but you'll be anxious to do the will of God." From 1 Peter 4, verses 1 and 2. The long run of prosperity we have enjoyed in Alberta makes us unfamiliar and uncomfortable with difficulty. We cope with difficulties far better when we reset our expectations, centering them on God's will rather than our own. When our plans don't work out as we envision, it's important to remember that God has a good plan for us individually and as a church family. As we begin 2022, it's encouraging to be reminded that God is on the throne, He is firmly in control, and His favor rests upon us. Psalm 30, verse 5 says that His favor lasts a lifetime. So let's enter the new year with courage and joy. Thank you for joining me in this update, and thank you for joining on Sundays in person, 10 a.m., or joining the live stream, or joining afterwards online. As we start this new year, may we discover more of God's will and experience more of His love. Take care, and God bless.